Okay, I think everything is already okay. We can start. And yeah, at break is done. As I said, we put the 3 minutes at every 1 hour to make sure that no pre-roll ads happening to newcomers. And also, yeah, before we start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vio from Vio Gaming Channel, and today we will play the last day on Hungry Ghost Festival 2025 from C Game Aesthetic. And yeah, today what we will play is the visual novel, the Yuri visual novel horror named Devil's Liminal. This game has some trigger warnings and content warnings. Let me pin it first. Wait, where is it? This should be it. Let me put on the chat. Yeah, this is the trigger warning, and I pin the message. Everyone to everyone who wants to check it, you can see that. Okay, that should be good. Now, before we start, let me just make sure that yeah, one thing that I want to say that thank you all for joining this one, and I recently got affiliate thanks to you all. So yeah, let's do what we do best. At the moment, we don't have any new things yet at the moment, but I added more alerts, so hopefully it will make things easier for me to see other things in here. Okay, so let's start. Let me stop the song and go to the game. Okay, I think everything should be good. Yeah, the first Liminal is created by solo developer. And this is a Yuri visual novel based on Azores Folklore. Let's read the let's check the setting. We have those settings. We can change the vibration, CG, etc. And also another thing is about, we can go to about, and yeah, this is the details. You can read the details on the Steam too, but there is also content warnings. We have really detailed content warnings here, like abusive parents, sexual abuse, body anxiety, poverty, occult, and unreality. We also have more on this on the website, so if you want, you can check there. That has more description of about this content warning. So yeah, if please what's it? Please proceed carefully, and I will play this for about 2 hours, I believe. I don't think we can finish this game in one go, so let's see. New game. Okay, this is early access build of the game. There may be bugs. You can help by reporting bugs you would find. Continue. 1950s. A young man lay in the New York snow. Moments before, his face had been smashed in by a tire iron. He could feel the cold in his raw, bruised skin. He swallowed. Blood had collected in his throat from his nose and mouth. It was becoming harder and harder for him to breathe. Would he be able to get up and get home? Would it be the cold or choking on his own blood that killed him first? In this moment, as he tried to ignore the chill climbing up his hands and feet, he thought of his favorite opera. He was managed to sneak in and see it during a Sunday matinee. It opened with an aging man on his deathbed, wondering the value of his work. And in his last moments before death, a demon came to him and promised him a second chance. Youth, a new life, and a beautiful young woman. As the man thought about the opera, he wondered, if these were his last moments, would a demon come to him? Could he ask for a second chance, a new life? The things he could do if he wasn't trapped by money and circumstance. Dots. He woke up. With some difficulty, he sat up and brushed the thin layer of snow off himself. The demon never came to him. 2000s. June 7th. So the settings, they said this will be from June 7th to September, but I think because it is early access, it will be from June 7th to June 24th, I believe. It is about 8 hour worth of gameplay from what developer told me, but yeah, we will do about 2 hours today. Sunday night. Margo lay in bed. If the game music is too low, let me know, yeah, so I can increase it. Margo. It was weird being back in her old bedroom after 2 years. She hadn't expected how much she would adjust to living in a dorm on the other side of the state, but now it was her home that felt alien to her. She rolled over and examined the art on her walls. Things she had drawn when she was a freshman in high school. Her old art was a little embarrassing to her, but it did serve as a nice reminder of how much she had improved. She would be starting college soon. She wondered if one day she would be embarrassed by whatever art she made in college too. For now, tomorrow would be her first day at work. She felt incredibly lucky to find a summer internship in her hometown. Apparently, they had been having a hard time finding recent high school graduates who were interested in social work. They told her it was the job that people were uninterested in, but Margo thought it might be that people wanted to leave town as soon as possible. Like she did. Her phone started buzzing. The text surprised her. She hadn't told anyone she was home yet. Lee, hey, heard you back in town? Want to hang out tomorrow? Let's just respond now. Margo considered whether or not she should respond. She was trying to make an effort to be more outgoing. It couldn't hurt to catch up with Lee, right? Lee, sure, let's try to plan something tomorrow. I gotta head to bed now though. Thoughts. Now that she had at least given him an explanation, it felt safe to go to sleep. June 8th. Monday morning. Even though she went to bed pretty early, Margo still felt exhausted when her alarm went off. She lay there for a while, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sound of the news on the television in the living room. After her snooze alarm went off a second time, she heard her mother knock on the door and walk in. Margo turned to look at her. Are you up for work?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, this game has partial voice acting, so some of the characters are voice acted, and that is very nice to hear. Margo didn't really move from the bed. She doubted she was convincing. It's pretty hot out today, over 110. Yeah, that's quite hot, honestly. In that case, yeah.
Could I get a ride to work?
Okay, Margo is already voiced, so I don't need to voice Margo. Okay, the game volume. Let me raise it. Wait, yeah. Okay, I think this should be good for the game volume. Let's see how it is. And also, yeah, Margo voice is small. So yeah, I can rise from the game too, but let's see. No, I'm rushing out the door as it is.
Okay.
Once her mother stepped back out, she sat up and started rifling around her dresser drawers for an outfit. She wondered what it'd be like to walk to work. Margo's work wasn't too far from home. Yep, much better. Thank you, thank you. But the Arizona summer heat was oppressive. Hot air rippled off the asphalt in the distance. Margo imagined a scene from a Western movie. In a distance, a shape broke the pattern of ripples. There was some sort of heap in the middle of the road.
Huh?
Margo narrowed her eyes in an effort to get a better look. What was it? Was it... Once she realized she was looking at an animal, she rushed forward. She had only seen a cat outside once before. She knew they wouldn't survive long in this weather. After leaning over to see that there weren't any injuries, Margo crouched down to see if the cat was still breathing. The cat's belly slowly rose and fell. The cat just sleeping there, I guess.
I hope I can move her without hurting her.
Margo knew at minimum that the cat needed to get out of the road and needed water. Yeah, the temperature is very hot. The cat should be on some shades and drinking water. And also maybe not outside. Among the businesses near her job, she remembered seeing a veterinarian office. Margo never had a pet before and wasn't sure how the veterinarian office worked. Would they accept walk-ins? Some of them, yes. So I hope the one that is close to you accepted. She took off her jacket and swaddled the animal. Work. Margo hurried to work after dropping the cat off at the veterinarian. She was afraid her boss would think it was a lousy excuse for being late to her first day. Fortunately, she seemed to be understanding. Dots. The start of the day consisted of orientation from the new summer interns and being shown around veteran homes. It was a retirement home for the elderly and disabled military veterans. After lunch and meeting more of the staff, the day was almost over. Margo's new boss waved her over for a chat. Erika, I noticed your eyes during lunch. Do you have heterochromia?
Yeah.
Margo, so she has heterochromia. Okay, wait a bit. Let me set things a bit so it's easier for me to see things. Okay, this should be good. Okay, this should be good so I can see both the game screen and the Twitch screen actually. I am trying to make sure that my layout is easier to see, so this should be good. Okay, let's back to the game. Here. Very pretty. Thank you. And I am getting some drinks first. I have the bottle tea. No bottle. Package tea. Package tea to drink. Let me drink it a bit. That's good. Let's continue. I don't think I've met anyone with heterochromia before. Well, anyway, you're moving to California for college soon? Yes, in August. What do your parents think about you moving so far from home? It's fine. You're pretty brave. I ended up staying in Arizona for college. I wasn't able to live that far away from my family when I was 18. Yeah, I had a lot of friends say that. What do you think you will study in school? I'm not sure yet. Well, I hope you will enjoy working in the social services department here. I'm happy to answer any questions about being a social worker. After talking a bit more about the veterans home and the residents, it was time for Margo to head out. after work. Just as Margo reached the doors in the lobby, she felt her phone vibrate. Ah, Lee, I'm still free if you are. Margo felt flustered. With everything that happened this morning, she completely forgot to text Lee. She started fumbling with her phone to type a quick response. Suddenly, she felt a bump and her phone clattered to the ground.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there.
Ah, hello. And and they are quite.
It's okay. I shouldn't have been standing by the door.
The stranger crouched down to pick up Margo's phone. She handed it back to Margo with a smile. Don't worry about it. Have a good night. Margo quickly shook off the embarrassment and got back to texting. Well, because we told him we need to meet up now, let's meet up now. Sorry, was really busy this morning and forgot. I can meet up now. Let's meet at the library. Also, what? This phone. This is very old phone. Library. It had been a while since she'd been to the library in her neighborhood. Sometimes Margo would meet up with her friend Nikki and walk around the desert. The desert, yeah, desert, not dessert. Then stop at the library to have snacks. On weekend, she would sometimes come alone to read comics. Sitting there again felt nostalgic. Lee arrived a moment after she did. He looked exactly the same as she remembered. Hey, good to have you back in town. Ah, childhood friends. Margo smiled at him.
Thanks.
He sat down next to her and pulled a pack of cigarettes from his pocket.
Huh?
Huh? I thought you quit. It's hard. I keep starting again when I get stressed. She nodded a little as he lit one. So, where have you been the past couple of years? There's a bunch of different rumors. It's like we were talking one day, then you drop off the face of the earth. What kind of rumors? Do I want to know? Rumors?
What?
Wait, rumors? Like what? He laughed and rubbed his neck, unsure how to put it delicately for Margo. Just dumb stuff. Ah, kids. I wouldn't worry about it. Lee. Oh, come on, let me know. I'd rather hear it from you than someone else. Mostly stuff like you're some kind of delinquent now. That you drop out, you're pregnant, you're a lesbian, all kinds of stuff. Wait. That's a lot of rumors, a lot of different rumors.
Seriously?
Seriously? People are still saying that stuff? Why? Bored losers. There was yelling from the parking lot. Margo and Lee looked up to see what it was. Margo! Margo's mother had pulled up near them.
Huh?
Huh, Mom? I've been looking everywhere for you. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay. Margo turned to Lee and gave him an embarrassed smile. He shrugged and put out his cigarette on the bench. See you around. They both got up. Lee gave Margo a quick hug. Yeah, see you. In the car, Margo looked out the window. Margo's mother stared ahead at the road. I've been looking everywhere for you.
What?
What do you mean? You weren't at work. I thought you were busy. You didn't say you were going to pick me up. Well, I was off work earlier than I expected. June 9th. Tuesday morning. Margo abruptly woke up. It wasn't her alarm, but a phone call that jolted her awake. Calling. Hello? Miss Silva? We have an update on the cat you brought in. She was severely dehydrated, but has made a full recovery. Ah, that's good. Ah, that's great. Were you able to find out if she has an owner? We didn't find a chip. Do I need to pick her up then? Margo didn't know what to do now. She couldn't keep a cat. Normally, yes. But we cannot find her. Ah, okay. So the cat is out.
What?
So the cat is going out by themselves. What? Margo wondered if she was still asleep. We will still need you to come in to pay for her treatment. What do you mean? How did you lose her? Ma'am, either way, her medication costs money. Okay, I will pay for it when you find her. Margo hung up and rolled back over to sleep until her alarm went off. Why do you lose the cat? That is very sloppy of you, veterinarian. Then there is a knock at the door. Her mother walked in. Are you up for work? She would not be able to wait for her alarm. Yes. It's pretty hot out there, over 110. This seems the same word as before. Margo pulled her sheet up further as though she'd be able to squeeze out a little more rest that way. Same as yesterday, huh? Do you wanna ride? No thanks.
No.
No thanks, I will walk again today. Maybe I will meet the cat along the way? Fine, I asked. Work. When Margo arrived at work, Erika sat her down for a quick meeting. I did some thinking last night on what I'd really like you to work on. I think it would be a good idea for you to help me organize the resident files. She gestured over to the filing cabinet, cartoonishly stuffed with files poking out from open drawers. Obviously, the information in them is confidential, but take a look at some of the documents. I think seeing some of these files will give you a better idea of what the residents I like. Then maybe you can spend some time with them.
Sure.
Sure, where do you want me to start? Erika set about showing Margo the files and what needed to be done. Once Margo got into the rhythm, Erika stepped out and left her alone in the office. Margo was glad it would be a quiet day. She realized she felt nervous about the prospect of talking to residents. What would they have to talk about? A knock at the door interrupted her thoughts.
Hey!
Excuse me?
Oh,
Oh. Margo looked up and put on a professional smile. How can I help you? I'm trying to find my grandma's room, 203. That's up on the second floor. Want me to show you? Yeah, sure. They walked to the elevator and rode to the second floor. Margo couldn't help looking at her. Where had they met before? Just yesterday. Didn't we bump into each other yesterday? Margo realized she had been staring and quickly turned away. Yeah. Sorry about that. Don't sweat it. Did you start working here recently? I haven't seen you before. Yeah, I started yesterday. I'm just here for the summer. Oh, cool. Well, I'm planning on having lunch here. Want to sit together? That's casual. Okay.
sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah!
Yeah. Lunch. Margo wasn't sure if the girl was serious about her lunch invitation. Worst case, she figured she could sit by herself and do some drawing. After grabbing her tray, she looked around. There were various other visitors and stuff scattered around. Sure enough, she saw the girl sitting at the table in the corner of the room. The girl looked up and waved at Margo. Margo walked over and sat across from her at the table.
Hey, Margo! I wasn't sure if you were gonna join me. I came by to visit my grandma by myself today, so I was kind of dreading having lunch alone. She usually likes to nap around noon.
Hey,
What's up?
what's your name?
Oh, sorry. I got ahead of myself.
Yeah, we haven't known her name yet. The girl extended her hand out to Margo. They shook. Margo felt something like deja vu.
I'm back. I'm staying with my mom for the summer, so I'm trying to find people to hang out with.
Yeah, the same circumstances.
I get that.
Oh yeah, you mentioned you're just here for the summer too? Yeah, I just graduated from high school. Now I'm working until college starts. Me too. Well, I'm helping my mom with work. I don't know if that counts. Sure it does. So your grandma lives here? What did she do in the military? She was in the Army Nurse Corps. She's pretty cool. They chatted for the rest of lunch. To Margo, Beck seemed so animated and excited to meet her. As they talked, Margo started to feel a little less afraid of being home. Dots. Dots. Margo knew she was asleep, but she still felt present, aware. Was this a lucid dream? She had read about them before, but she couldn't remember if she had ever had one before. She sat up in her bed. How funny. The first time she had a lucid dream, and it takes place in her bedroom. Triple dots. Oh, a new character. A girl sat at the foot of Margot's bed.
Listen,
Okay. She didn't recognize her.
I need your help.
My help? What's going on?
I am trapped. I'll show you how to help me.
Why me?
June 10th. That's an interesting one. It is on the dream. Wednesday morning. Margo woke up groggy. She wondered why she rarely felt rested and awake in the morning. Maybe this time it had to do with that strange dream? She rolled onto her back and stretched out. Reaching out her hands, she felt something. The cat! Hello! Meow. What? She looked up to see a cat curled up in the corner of her bed. She was the same one from earlier in the week. The cat that the veterinarian somehow lost. How are you here? Cat, hello. Meow. And they blinked. The cat stared back. From the expression of the cat's face, Margo half expected her to respond. But instead, Margo was left trying to fill in the blanks for how she ended up in her room. Her parents had a strict no-pet rule. She doubted her mother would have a sudden change of heart. I don't have a litter box or cat food. She didn't even know anything about taking care of a cat. She reached out to stroke the cat's back. The cat bobbed along with her hand. But I cannot just leave you outside again. Margo's mother started knocking on the door, startling both Margo and the cat. Margo turned out to the door, feeling herself panicking. How would she explain this? The doorknob turned and her mother walked in. Are you awake? Margo tried sitting in the front of the cat to buy herself time. Yes? Let me know when you're ready. Her mother turned and left. No reaction to the cat. Margo sat there, stunned and confused. There was no way just sitting up more actually hit the cat. She turned around to check on her. Nothing was there. Okay, so the cat suddenly gone. So the cat can turn invisible or they just hide, I guess. But that's the cat. Work. It was shaping up to be another quiet day at work. Margo sorted through the files and after a while found herself creating a little stories about each president. She noticed how much their examinations varied. Some residents seemed to only be limited by physical complications. Others struggled with drawing clock or knowing what day it was. After a while, she went from imagining what each person was like to imagining what she would be like in old age. Is there any way to predict something like that? She didn't really know her grandparents or how they might have passed away, so she couldn't make any guesses based on that. Yeah, you know how cats are, yes. It felt overwhelming. Wait, let me check again. Okay, should be good, nothing weird. Let's go again. She shook her head, trying to clear her thoughts. She shouldn't think about this. She closed the file and stared ahead for a moment. In her bag, there was a dull buzzing noise. She grabbed her phone and flipped it open. There was a text from Nikki. Why didn't you tell me you're back? I had to find out from Lee. I didn't know you still talk to him. Margo felt her stomach twist with guilt. Nikki was right to be mad. She briefly wondered when Nikki would have run into Lee. I'm sorry, it's been really busy. Getting ready for college and working. It's only gonna get busier. We gotta hang out now while we can. You're right. We could go to the mall this weekend. Have you been? No, it opened while I was gone. Cool, let's do that. Let's do that. Great, I'm excited. I'll see what day I'm free. After work. When Margo got home, she thought about her conversation with Nikki. She realized she hadn't really checked her messages, email, or anything since she got home. She had no idea if any old friends had been trying to reach her. She logged in and scrolled through some updates. A lot of it seemed to be about trips to beaches and lake houses, dorm shopping with parents. She felt a small pang. When she glanced at her new messages, there was a message request.
How?
She didn't recognize the name, but she couldn't help being curious. Helen, is your dad Doc Victor Silva? I think we might be related. Margo reread the message. Then her gaze shifted to the name and image. She kept trying to figure out who this woman could be, if anything about her was familiar. Nothing came up. Maybe she could ask her mother? She wanted to get something from the kitchen anyway. In the living room, her mother was on the couch. Her mother anxiously leaned forward in her seat as she watched a show on the television. It was a VHS recording her mother made of a soap opera episode.
Mom?
Hey, Mom? I have a quick question. Her mother waved her hand at Margo and paused the show. You know I'm watching my show. It only takes 45 minutes. She hit play again, signaling that the conversation was over. Margo continued to the kitchen. Feeling pretty tired, she put together a sandwich. She carefully inspected the bread, making sure ants hadn't gotten to it yet. After eating it in the kitchen, she quickly washed up the dishes and went back to her room. Thinking about the message, the cat, the text with Nikki, Margo started drifting off to sleep. She heard a loud sigh and the kitchen sink running as her mother rewashed the dishes. June 11, Thursday morning. Margo, hurry up, come to the living room. Margo instantly woke up at the sound of her mother's voice.
What?
What's going on? I need to tell you something very important. Okay. Margo threw her clothing on as quickly as possible, wondering what could be so urgent. She rushed out of her room. What is it? I won't be here tonight, so be sure to lock up and turn off the stove before you go to bed. Okay, what's up? You don't need to worry about that. That's something. Before work. While walking to the veteran's home, Margo wondered where her mother could be going that night. Her mother had never spent the night out before. Her parents didn't really have friends they would visit. What if she had started dating? But it had only been a couple of months. She needed to stop thinking about that stuff anyway. The backstory. Yeah, this kind of game. There must be a lot of different type of backstories for the main characters and the characters we have. She noticed a bush down the road rustling. There had been construction lately, and Margo didn't want to find out if there were scorpions around. She quickened her pace. As she passed the house, she heard a noise. A faint meow. She turned around and saw a familiar friend in the middle of the sidewalk.
Hey,
You're everywhere, aren't you? The cat is purring again. Hello, cat. Meow. The cat came up closer to her. Margo knelt down to scratch her head. You keep running off. Do you live around here? The cat stared. Maybe I shouldn't expect a response from a cat. Margo stood back up.
bye.
Bye. I will see you later. I need to get to work. The cat lay down in the middle of the sidewalk, staring at Margo as she walked away. Okay, in the work. Margo looked out the window. It looked like a little overcast, so Margo decided to go for a walk during her lunch break. Out in the surrounding neighborhood, there was an abundance of oleander bushes in front of the homes. She remembered when she was little and being cautioned about how dangerous the plant was. There was so much from her childhood she couldn't remember. The most random of bits and details would occasionally surface. She had forgotten the faces of any of her old friends. But she remembered begging her mom to let her cross the street when walking to her bus stop so that she could avoid even accidentally touching oleanders. Oleanders. That's interesting. She briefly thought about the weird things happening since she got home. That girl in her dream, the cat that seemed to disappear and reappear out of nowhere. Margo's phone started vibrating in her pocket. Margo pulled out her phone. Back. Hey, are you free after work today? I think so. What's up? We could hang out at the park or something. Yeah, sure. We don't do anything, anything. So yeah, let's hang. Sure, I will let you know when I finish work. Great, see you then. With another activity planned and a potential new friend, Margo was happy that the week seemed to be turning around. After work, Margo sat down in the lobby and texted back that she was ready to head out. I'll be there soon. Margo briefly wondered if Beck might not show up at all. Why did she think that? After a while, her phone buzzed again. In the parking lot, comfortable. Margo quickly picked up her bag and headed outside. Beck was parked in a spot near the entrance. When Margo spotted her, she started waving her over. Margo walked over and got in the passenger seat. It was a little older and dusty, but cozy with just 2 seats. Seeing Beck's car reminded Margo that she dreamed of getting her own convertible if she ever got a driver's license. She felt a little jealous.
Hey,
Hey, ready to go? And you sported sunglasses too. Black flashed a quick grin at Margo. She looked back, examining her own reflection in her sunglasses. Feeling a little sweaty and tired from the workday, she felt out of place in what she considered her dream car. Noticing her expression, Beck took off her sunglasses and gave Margo a curious look. Everything okay? Sorry, I realize I'm a little tired. I'm ready. Alright. After driving for a bit, Margo noticed they weren't in her neighborhood anymore. She had assumed they were going to the park down the street. Have you been to the Colorado River?
Yeah?
Yeah, why? I figured we could hang out there, beats looking at the dead grass at the park here. Sure, as long as we're not actually going in the river. Back love. I laughed. No, I would have warned you to bring a swimsuit in that case. Once they were out of the residential area, Beck turned on the radio. It was set to the only classic rock station that reached their town. Did you grow up here? Yeah, I only left for a couple of years for school.
Cool.
Oh, cool. I lived here when I was a little kid, but then my parents started moving around a lot. My mom moved back to be closer to my grandma. I guess now that I am going off to college, she wants to be around her. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm kind of surprised by how much it feels the same as I remember. Oh, I am impressed you remember all of that from when you were little. I only remember bits and pieces. I have a pretty good memory. Since you were gone for a while, does it feel any different being home? How is it? It's been hard, honestly, if we are out and going back again. I'm not used to living at home anymore. It's been kinda hard. I feel like I'm waiting around for my life to start again when I move away. Well, hopefully getting out of the house today will help a bit. Maybe. They park at the nature reserve and pick a well-worn trail near the water. I forgot there were nature areas like this. It's all deserted town, you know? Yeah, I really like it up here. So this is the place, the green place around the river. Well, Arizona is all desert. Desert. Not the desert. Desert is good. Ice cream, etc. But yeah, that's desert, not desert. By the way, are you not much of a swimmer? Why do you ask? Beck smiled lightly. You seemed worried about it earlier. Margo felt embarrassed. I'm not a strong swimmer. Beck laughed. Maybe I could teach you? They walked for a bit with Beck stopping at each new sign about local flora. Her face seemed to light up as she eagerly looked around to find each plant. She crouched down, closely examining a cluster of flowers.
Margo.
Margo, look at this one. Margo crouched down beside her. It was a familiar white and purple flower. Is it another kind of paintbrush flower? Nope, this is a pretty rare one, an Arizona passion flower. That's interesting. Like passion fruit? Yep. I'm surprised this is here. It only grows in a different part of the state. I wonder how it got here. Cause some nice desert after this maybe? Yeah, that is a good idea. Only the plant knows. Only the plant knows. I wish I brought a camera or something. I could draw it. Oh really? You can draw it? That is a good one. That is the theme. Interesting. Margo took out her sketchbook and made a quick gestural drawing. Backwatch. I cannot believe you can just do that. Margo smiled. After a bit, they emerged from a grown-over area to a more curated park with a snack stand. The area was pretty packed. Most of the seating seemed to be taken, and the stand had a long line. Margo suddenly felt aware of how late it was getting and wondered if her mother would be upset if she came home late. I will get us something. Okay. Find a spot to sit. The area was pretty full. Empty remadas were in slow supply. I can find a spot to sit. Is that okay? Yep. Good luck out there. Margo handed back some cash for her half and wandered off to find a spot. After a moment, they came back. She handed her the extra change. Good eye. I didn't see this bench. She patted Margo's shoulder. Oh, I want to see your drawing again. Sure. Margo pulled out her sketchbook and laid it open for Beck. I cannot believe that took you, what, minutes? Beck watched as Margo flipped through her sketchbook.
Do you want to be an artist?
I think so. Maybe I could do comics or something.
That would be so cool. What kind of comics?
Probably something supernatural. Ghosts and stuff.
It felt so easy to spend the afternoon with Beck. Margo wondered if Beck might think Margo was being too friendly with her. After a bit more exploring, they headed back to the car. Evening. The night air during the drive felt refreshing after spending the afternoon in the sun. An interview with a band played on the radio. When they got closer to Margo's neighborhood, the familiar sights made her snap back to reality.
Beck?
Beck? Margo, can we park at the shopping center and walk to my place? No problem. The neighborhood felt completely still. It felt like the only noise was their footsteps. Margo looked at Beck. She seemed deep in thought. Ask what she's thinking.
Hey.
Hey, what's on your mind? Beck was looking up at the sky. The stars are like this in the rest of the country. Margo looked up as well. She hadn't noticed before, but the sky was bright with stars. She wondered how it would compare to the sky over her future school. You haven't lived in another state before, right? No, my private school wasn't that far away. Do you think you will miss Arizona when you move? I don't know yet. I will miss my friends, but I can text them. You probably have a boyfriend, right? Would you have to do long distance? Margo blushed. Why did she feel nervous about Beck asking her that? I don't. Really? What about you? Yeah, it just didn't work out. What about you? Do you have a boyfriend? That's not really my thing. Yeah. Dating? There was a loud yell and hiss at their feet. Beck leapt away. Cat, got away, go away! She scrambled to scare away the cat in front of them. No. Beck's efforts were rewarded with more hissing. Why do you... Oh, that's my new friend. Why do you scare the cat? Oh, maybe you trip over the cat still. No, I hate it. Why? Why, Beck? Why? She kept waving her hands at the cat and almost getting scratched. Hey, I think if you just relax, she'll stop. Beck seemed to be near tears. Make it go away! Margo knelt down next to the cat. She couldn't stand by while both Beck and the cat were getting more and more agitated. Hey you! The cat leaned in to rub her face on Margo's hand, but still growling. I need you to be nice to Beck, okay? Oh. Margo picked her up and scurried to the other side of the road to plop her on the sidewalk there. The cat sat down and rolled on her side, staring at them. Margo returned to Beck, who was breathing deeply. I think we're safe now. I barely believe you. They walked another block with no cat in sight, and Beck eased up. Well, I'm sorry for ending the night on that note. It's fine. Ah, I thought of something. Do you like museums? I love museums. There's some local ones we got to go to check out some pioneering tools, that sort of thing. Margo smiled at her. I'd like that. Beck stopped for a moment. She looked at Margo with a nervous expression. She glanced down.
Can I ask you something?
Yes. Let me quick save. Sure.
Can I hold your hand?
Oh, holding hands already. Ah. Margo wanted to be excited, but Margo looked around. I hope I didn't assume too much. Margo looked back at her. No, it's not that. They were at the end of her block, close enough to see her home. She noticed the lights were off and remembered her mother was out for the night. But if her mother was home after all? Margo remembered the couple times friend did come near the trailer. Afterwards, her mother would scold her about the culture shock of seeing it, or start asking who they were and if Margo was trying to sneak them into her room. What if her mother was home but kept the light off? It wouldn't have been the first time. Of course. Yeah, I know we can be cautious, but of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Beck took Margot's hand and smiled. I really should have asked earlier. Margo blushed and lightly squeezed Beck's hand. Her hand felt much more delicate than Margo expected. Eventually, they reached Margo's. That is trailer home. So this is your place? Margo wasn't sure what Beck would think seeing that Margo lived in a trailer. Yeah, sorry for making us walk. It's fine, I get it. You're embarrassed of me. No, it's nothing like that. I forgot my mom wasn't home. Beck laughed. Now that sounds worse, right? Margot cringed, making Beck laugh some more. I'm kidding. Beck let go of Margot's hand to hop the brick fence in the front of her home. They paused for a moment on the front porch. Thanks for walking me home, even if it was necessary. And thanks for saving me from wild animals. Beck stood there for a bit, looking at Margo. She felt like Beck was scrutinizing her expression, deciding what to do next. Alright, I will say goodbye. This was really nice. I thought so too. Text me when you get home? Of course. After a moment, she left the porch, hopped over the fence, and walked off into the night. Margo stood outside, watching her walk away. When she was out of sight, Margo walked inside and locked the sliding glass door. She felt a sudden jolt of fear. What if her mother was home? It was already a huge risk just talking to Beck on the porch, let alone... What if her mother saw? But it remained quiet inside. Her stomach growled. She forgot about having dinner. Realizing how hungry she was, she went to the kitchen to see if there was anything quick she could make. When she opened the cabinets, they were all empty. She checked the pantry for paper plates, but could not find any. Margo sighed to herself. She turned the light back off and stood in the front of the glass door. She looked at the stars in the sky, thinking about the sensation of Beck's fingers interlaced with hers. June 12th, Friday morning. Let me do quick save first, and let me check the Twitch a bit. Let me check a bit, yeah. Okay, prayer roll is this, so I believe I believe we will do the yeah, let's see if my automated message will work. Let's see if the pre-roll ad will the ad on every 1 hour will work too. Let's see later. But yeah, let's continue first a bit. And I move it here so I can change it easier. Then I can use this. When Margo checked the living room in the morning, her mother wasn't there. The dishes were still hidden away. Unsure what to do for breakfast, Margo decided she could get something on the way to work. Oh, okay. The ad should be here soon. Yes. Work. All morning, Margo had been sorting files. Yep, I believe I set it so it will send to moderator, but I am not sure if it is shown in here. Okay, let's continue. All morning, Margo had been sorting files. The process already felt automatic to her. Margo kept rereading the text from Beck. Got home safe. Wish we could have stayed out later. Couldn't Beck talk to anyone she wanted? Why Margo? Erika walked into the office as Margo finished up the last file from her current stack. Margo, would you be interested in meeting some of the residents?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. This floor has some great folks. It's mostly people who choose to live here because of health problems. Oh, I see. Okay, ad break is ongoing, so let me pause a bit. Yeah, I think I need to have that ad break. What's it? Ad break alert for myself too. So because I didn't see it on my side. Let me drink a bit while waiting for the ad break. and the ad should be done, so let's continue. Yeah, I think I can see some of notification is working for the normal viewer too, so but it is about to start, so I think I can tune it better later. But yeah, let's continue. They spent some time walking around, Erika introducing some of the residents. There were 2 women who were medics in the World War II, some men playing card games. Margo made a mental note of the information about everyone. After a while, they returned to the office. Margo continued sifting through paperwork and noticed her phone buzzing. Hey, sorry, it's been a while. Want to see a movie night? What day is it? I didn't remember. Not the weekend, right? Because weekend is sneaky. Sure, let's try. Yeah, I was bummed we couldn't catch up more at the library. Yeah, me too. Okay, meet me there tonight. After work, Margo stood in the theater lobby, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. It looked like she arrived before he did. Where was he? She scanned the room, slowly became more and more stressed about being there alone. Margo, hey! Hello Jade. Margo turned around, surprised to hear Jade's voice. They had class together before Margo had left. She forgot Jade worked at the movie theater.
Hey!
Hey, how are you? I'm great. Jade pointed at her badge. I'm a manager now. Oh, congrats! Yeah, kind of shame I have to quit when I go to college. Speaking of, I thought you already left. Sort of. I'm working here for the summer. Oh, cool. Where? The veterans home. I heard it was hard to get a job there. Yeah, that's pretty lucky. Well, it's through a state program. Before Margo could tell Jade more, she heard someone else call her name. Lee. Early always, as always, Margo. I think you might just be late, Lee. Lee rolled his eyes, his hand reaching in his pocket for his wallet. Jade, can I get 2 tickets for evening at the zoo too? Evening at the zoo? 2. Please? I don't have anyone else to see this movie with. Margo sighed, defeated. Lee was not great at accepting no as an answer. They went into the theater room. It was empty. The movie had already been out for a while. Lee picked 2 seats in the center near the back of the theater. As Margo sat down, Lee stretched his arms out. His hands came to rest on Margo's shoulder. They sat in silence for a while as the movie played. Lee seemed to thinking about something rather than paying attention to the movie. He cleared his throat. Did your dad die? That sudden question. That is very sudden question. Margo immediately felt her heart racing. She wasn't ready for that kind of conversation. Where did you hear that? Around town. Margo shifted in her seat. You used to call me and talk about that stuff before you disappeared. She stared ahead at the movie. How do you feel? I don't know. Margo turned to look at Lee. For a moment, they stared at each other. Margo studied his face, trying to understand how he felt. Then he started laughing. I never liked that guy anyway. Margo frowned, moving her shoulder to shake his hand off. Come on, Margo. I'm not being mean. I want to know if you're okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Her voice was tense. Why don't we watch the movie? We're the only ones here. It doesn't matter if we talk. They both went silent. I think what I miss the most about having you around is that you always help me accountable. What are you talking about? You're the only person who ever said I could live here, get a nursing degree or something. He moved his arm from behind Margo to his chair rest. And you're the only girl who will tell me to shut up. He nervously drummed his fingers. I don't know what I'm getting at. His hands move to Margot's knee. He starts to move further around her leg. Lee, please, no. She pushed his arm away. What's wrong? Would you quit it? He turned away and folded his arms. They were silent again. Fine. Whatever. I'm going to have a smoke. He got up. Margo watched him walk down the aisle and to the exit. She turned back to the screen. What could she do? She felt the anxiety build up again. Watching the movie wasn't going to help. She pulled her phone for distraction. After a while, she started to wonder if he was coming back. She didn't care about the movie anyway. She should probably head home, right? Margo got up, retracing Lee's steps out the room and into the hallway. In the hall, she could hear someone muttering to themselves. Did I go the wrong way? Hello, Beck. Beck stood by while looking at her ticket. Beck? She looked up and smiled. Oh, hey. Beck gave Margo a coy smile. Out on a date? Margo grebased.
Well,
Her stomach twisted. Yeah? Beck's smile disappeared. Sorry. I'm being nosy. I should let you get to your movie. Beck gave Margo a curious look. Is something wrong? You seem kinda stressed out. Margo waved her hand. I'm just trying to find my friend that I came here with. That doesn't sound good. Do you need a ride home or something? I'll be fine. I don't want to impose or anything. Don't worry about it. She looked down at her ticket. I'm not excited about this movie anyway. I just didn't feel like being at home. Which movie is it? Evening at the Zoo too? It's not good. Thanks, since you're the artist, I should probably trust your opinion. I guess it's too highbrow for me. Well, in any case, definitely let me know if you need a ride. Margo nodded. They parted ways as Beck went into the theater room and Margo went into the lobby. Jade was still at the ticket counter, but no one else was around. Jade noticed Margo and waved her over. Hey, did you get my text?
huh?
Text? Margo pulled out her phone to check. Nothing from Jade. Or Lee. Guess not. Oh, darn. I saw Lee earlier. I think I heard him arguing with someone. Then he told me how pissed he was and that he was going home. Margo sighed. Seriously? Yeah, my shift ended a bit if you want a ride home. Jade smiled weakly at Margo. The choice. Let me save a bit. Let me save. I want to see. It is June 12th. I want to know more about Jade.
Sure.
Sure, if you don't mind. Of course. Evening. Margo stared out the window as Jade drove. The radio played classical music from a community college radio station. I told Lee that I was glad to see you happy. But then Lee was like, what about my happiness? First that crazy chick and now you. Then he laughed.
What?
Crazy chick? I have no idea. I guess someone yelled at him? He seemed pretty freaked out. Margo rolled her eyes. Probably some other girl he's bothering. Yeah, I wouldn't think too much about it. But anyway, enough about him. He went to some fancy private school. What was it like? It was like normal school, but the teachers were helpful. Ah, that is fancy. What about you and Ben? I'm going to be a music major. That's so cool. As Jade chatted about college with Margo, she felt a huge weight off her shoulders. Margo realized this was an unexpectedly nice way for the evening to end. June 13th, morning. Margo finally had a morning where she woke up feeling rested and ready for the day. She quickly threw on some clothing and went to the kitchen for breakfast. However, in her good mood, she forgot the dishes were gone. After trying every cabinet, she realized she would need to ask her mother. Margo walked to her room. She hesitated at the door. She wasn't sure if her mother was still home or awake yet. One of those makes it easier to find dishes, she thought. Margo knocked at the door.
Mom?
What is it? Her mother shouted out from the other side of the door. Where are the dishes? You need to use a paper plate. I'm tired of washing dishes. We don't have any paper plates. Yes, we do. Where? What do you need? A bowl and a spoon, I guess. Okay, wait a bit. Let me check in. Thank you, Yami. Thank you, Yami. Please report too. Should be good because it's already restricted. Let's continue. Let me check too. Should be good. Okay, let's continue. There was some rummaging and the door cracked open. Her mother held out a paper bowl and plastic spoon. Here. She shook them at Margo. Take it. I'm going back to bed. This is one of the harder one to choose. Margo gave up. None of these conversations were new, but they were always felt like they were opening up a fresh wound. No amount of success in the world seemed to be enough to affect her home life. Coming home to the trailer meant she was no one again. Margo took the bowl and spoon. Her mother shut the door. Margo wanted to stomp, to scream. As she walked away, she looked down at the ground beneath her. It was just a wooden board, covering a sunken spot in this floor. Thank you for joining us, Heptad. Thank you, Dev. Yeah, so far I like how it goes. It is really a slow burn, but it gives us the feeling of each character. Thank you for joining us here. Let me continue. She couldn't stop anyway. She couldn't do anything. She kept thinking about how different things were just a month ago in her private school. How different they will be a couple of months from now. She just had to wait it out. Margo shook her head. She needed to distract herself. She needed to focus on getting ready for work and leaving. If she just stayed focused. Outside. Walking to work, Margo noticed the streets were particularly empty. She got to work just to be faced with an empty parking lot. No one was there. She checked her phone. It was Saturday. She had gotten up early and fought for a ball, and she didn't even have work that day. Looking around at the empty lot, she felt drained. She thought about what to do. She was already dressed and outside, so she headed to the park. Maybe some time alone would be nice. Yeah, let's go to the park. Margo found an empty spot to sit at the park. She pulled out her sketchbook and flipped to an empty page. It felt a little bit like she was in elementary school again, sitting at recess, hoping someone would come join her. She looked out over the landscape, trying to think of what to draw. Next to her, there was some clattering. The cat had jumped out on the bench. Oh, the cat again.
Hey,
Hey, friend. Margo reached out to pet her, but the cat dodged her hand. She hopped down and started circling the bench, pausing to stare at Margo. Something about the cat's expression unnerved Margo. It felt like a person were staring at her. Do you need something? She continued to run a few feet away, paused to look at Margo, then came back. Do you want me to follow you? Margo started packing her bag and got up. The cat immediately ran ahead. Margo followed. They left the park, going further and further into the desert. After a while, Margo started to worry, looking around for scorpions and snakes. In the distance, a bit ahead of them, she saw something. As they kept approaching, she started to make out what it was. The cat stopped beside it, looking at her expectantly. Okay. It looked like an old, rusted car from 80s. On the exterior body, Margo could see holes in it. She wondered if they were bullet holes. The cat pawed at the door. Did the cat want her to open the door? Do you have kittens in there or something? It looked so rusty. Margo was skeptical it could be opened. Margo thought of her dream. I will show you how to help me. Margo shook her head. What could be the harm? The cat was frantic, circling around Margo and rubbing on her legs. Alright, alright. Open it? Yes. No other choice, only yes. Yes. Something, maybe morbid curiosity, compelled her. She grabbed the handle and tried to force it open. It was stuck expectantly. She put more force into it, bracing a leg against the side of the car. Eventually, it's opened, sending Margo toppling to the ground. Ow. She got up and brushed herself off. The cat had already jumped into the car and was snatching at something. Margo got closer and leaned into the car. A large leather-bound Bible lay in the driver's seat. The cat was desperately pawing at it and meowing. At first, it looked like a normal Bible. Margo picked it up and looked at the first page. Okay, that is interesting. Eritis Sicutis Scientis Bonum et Malum was written in careful flowing script. A large, unusual symbol was drawn over the remainder of the page. This is interesting. This is interesting. There is six-sided star with a different thing. It was a hexagram with details that Margo couldn't quite make out. She started flipping through it. In the margins, there were handwritten notes. The notes didn't look like they were about the Bible passage at all. Instead, the writing was strange. Origins of the world, recipes for things she didn't understand, instruction on how to deal with creatures she'd never heard of before. It felt terrifying. It reminded her of some of the books in her father's shed. After flipping for a few pages, the cat yowled. Margo stopped and looked at the notes on the page.
To understand the voice of an animal.
Ah, okay, so this may be some sort of spell book.
Must be bitten by the animal.
Okay, so you need to beat us.
Place the blood on a music box and while the music plays, the animal will be able to speak if they wish to?
That's an interesting thing. She muttered the instructions to herself, looking between the page and the cat.
Huh?
Is this real?
Is this real?
The cat stared at her. This has to be a coincidence. There cannot be a cat showing me how to make animals talk. I'm trapped. Could it be related? It seemed too supernatural. Even when she was a kid, she was really supernatural. Her favorite childhood movies usually involved ghosts, monsters, vampires. She vaguely remembered having a friend who was convinced that Margo was a vampire. At the time, Margo really wanted to believe they were right. It meant that she could have a bigger, more interesting life outside of her trailer. She could be whisked away on some grand adventure. She felt embarrassed thinking about that time. Was she really so gullible? Reading the notes in the book, why did she so desperately want everything in front of her to be real? She stared into the cat's eyes. What if she was just asleep, her head down on the park table, having another lucid dream? What would it mean for her if this was real? Would it give purpose to her life? Evening. Margot's bedroom was getting dimmer. She didn't realize how long she had been laying in bed. Her phone buzzed. She picked up and rolled onto her back, holding the screen over her face. Is tomorrow good for the ball? Yeah, tomorrow is weekend, Sunday, I think. Sure, what time? Around 12? Okay. Nikki used to be notoriously late all the time to everything. Margo wondered if her habits had changed and when she should actually expect Nikki to arrive. She put her phone down and rolled back onto her stomach, continuing to read through the notes in the book. June 14th. Sunday afternoon. Let's quick save again. Nikki hadn't changed. It had been over an hour since Nikki said she was on her way. She lived within walking distance, and Margo started to regret not meeting at her place. Margo texted, but Nikki hadn't responded. She considered the logistics. What if she started walking now? She tried sketching but still felt impatient. She thought about going back inside, but didn't want to interrupt her mother watching soap operas. After a while, Nikki pulled up. Nikki's car was a worn cream color with slightly torn seat. It always seemed to smell like burning rubber. Nikki pushed aside some old fast food trash from the passenger seat. Margo hopped in.
Hey!
Hey Nikki, it's good to see you. Yeah, same to you. They both leaned over to hug. I don't think you'll be impressed with the mall. Why's that? Honestly, it's kinda small. And you cannot go there yourself unless you're over 16.
Seriously?
Seriously? Yeah, they check IDs and everything. I had to go with my sister when it first opened. Speaking of, do you have your ID with you? Margo double-checked her bag. Yeah, I do. Mall. It was quiet, but all the stores were open. When Margo looked around, the only other people she saw were employees and elderly couples. I think Sunday morning at the mall is for all people exercise. As long as you're over 16, right? They went into a department store. Nick was eager to start trying things on. Margo went to look at jeans. Want me to help you find something? Is your size even in this section? I'm good, I found some things over there. After hearing Nikki's question, Margo became more and more focused on the thought of her size. It seemed like the more she thought about it, the more her clothing options dwindled. It was hard to find something. Food court. After some more meandering, they decided to sit down and grab something to eat. They grabbed a small table behind some plants. I'm not sure what to do next. Move out of my parents, sure, but I guess community college? Do you still want to be a teacher? I think so, but whatever, I still have the time to think about it. I have some friends in Phoenix who have been talking about renting an apartment together. Oh, cool. Do you know where you're going to live? Not yet. A dorm? Any roommates? I still need to figure that out. I think there's a website for finding a roommate, but I'd rather just not have one. The mall was starting to fill up. Have you hung out with anyone since you've been back?
Well,
Besides your nutbag ex. Yeah, he is. Back and cat. Back and cat. There is back. There's also the cat, the lovely cat that wants us to be getting bitten by them. As about the cat, you still have a lot of pets, right? Yeah. Do you know much about cats? Of course. I found this weird cat the other day. All cats are weird. This one seems to follow me around a lot. Yeah, all cats are weird, definitely. And I think sometimes she gets into my room. Isn't there still a hole on your floor? Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe she had kittens under your place. Yeah, I thought about that. Margo thought about how to work the next part. Nikki used to go to church a lot, and what happened still felt like a wild dream. I feel like she's trying to show me something. Probably the kittens. I mean, like, do cats like collecting stuff? Do they bury their toys? No, you're thinking of dogs. Oh, I think this cat is doing that. It's probably been around a lot of dogs then. Mention back.
well,
Well, I made a new friend at work. She used to live here, but I guess her mom moved away and then back. Would I know her? Her name is Beck. Beck, like short for Rebecca? I think so. What does she look like? Tall and thin, bleached hair. That doesn't really narrow it down. Oh, I have a contact photo on my phone. Want to see that? Margo pulled out her phone and flipped to Beck's contact into info to open the image. Nikki inspected it for a moment. She looks like a model. Like a suicide... what? Are you hanging with that? What is that? Ah, maybe the name of the model. Not that I know of. I don't think I know her. Do you know what school she went to? Nope. They went quiet for a moment as they started digging into their food. Evening. Margo stood in the front of her mirror looking at the jeans she purchased earlier in the day. The mirror had a large crack in it, so Margo had to shift around a bit. She had a pile of shirts sitting on her bed to see what went with which jeans. Looking at the mirror, she thought about her conversation earlier with Nikki. She decided to text back. Hey, what school did you go to when you lived here? What if we were in class together, love? We were in kindergarten. You remember? Yeah, I know that Beck said that she remembered a lot. We used to play together all the time. Wait, seriously? Yeah, we were dating. I thought you were a vampire. Okay? This clicks with the story before. So it was Beck who thought she was a vampire. And she vaguely remembered kissing someone on the bus. Sorry I didn't mention it sooner. I figured you didn't remember or recognize me. My name is different and I'm not a 5-year-old boy anymore, lol. Ah. I don't blame you, but I wasn't sure how to bring it up. So sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Yeah, that's awkward. That will be awkward. It's pretty cool that we're friends again. I remember both vampire memory and bus memory. Let's go with bus first. I remember you were my first kiss. You asked me on the bus if I wanted to be your girlfriend. Very romantic. We will never talk about breaking up, right? Yes, that means we are still dating. Oh, I guess so. We touched knees one time. Things were pretty serious between us. I feel like I've been thinking more about when I was a kid. Maybe because you're going to college soon to be an adult? That does make sense. June 15th. Ah, that's interesting. That's small backstory that I didn't expect. Monday morning. That's delightful though. honestly, that's delightful to hear that. Margo's alarm hadn't gone off yet, but she felt awake. She tried to move to check her phone, but something was on top of her. The cat was back in her room, sprawled out on her chest. She thought about what Nikki suggested. Was the cat living under her floor? Margo turned her head to look at the gap between the intact floor and the slab of wood covering the hole in her room. Margo had always been afraid of it, thinking that cockroaches would crawl in. In comparison, a cat was much better. Margo remembered the book. She glanced down at the cat still laying on her. Are you here to remind me? The cat stared back. What if the cat really was that girl from her dream? What if she really did not help? Margo thought of the passage in the book. If she could find a music box, she could see what would happen. The music box and her blood. She was stuck on the idea of her blood being involved in the mix. She didn't know if she was sick or not. She didn't know how to get tested. Margo continued to lay on her back, staring up at the ceiling. In the other room, she could hear her mother watching the news. It sounded like something about the string of grave robberies. Grave robberies? Does that actually still happen? Apparently, people in town were worried that it was for a satanic cult. Margo thought about the other things she would hear about on the news, like stories about UFOs in Phoenix. Maybe it's just people who want the world to be a more exciting place. Wait a bit, I need to drink. There is a lot of things, a lot of interesting things though, honestly. Let me drink a bit. The drink is good. Let me see if my upload is working. Yeah, I am checking the quality of things a bit, making sure that everything is working here, because I want to make sure that everything is okay on my side and no lags or anything. Should be okay on my side. Let me go back to the switch here so I don't move something weird. Sorry. I am checking to make sure that everything is working properly. Should be good. Okay, this should be good because I think the slowness is on the stream manager. This one is okay. Okay, should be good for my side on here. Then let's continue. Okay, maybe it's just people who want the world to be a more exciting place. Was she any different from them? Margo absent-mindedly pet the cat. What if you can really talk? What would you say? Of course not just meow. Cat dots. After a while, there was a familiar knock at the door. The cat jumped off her bed and disappeared before Margot's mother opened the door. Are you up for work?
Yes.
Yes. I cannot drive you today. Okay. You really need to learn how to drive. How? Ask one of your little friends. She left the room. Margo got up and got ready. She realized she needed to ask her mother for help with getting the music box. Yeah, I think. Wait. I am making sure that my dashboard is okay. Because I need to stop something to make sure that everything is working properly. Yeah, dashboard seems okay. Dashboard etc. seems okay. I just want to make sure that the leg is not prominent for this. So but yeah, for music box we need to ask the mother. That's not a good prospect honestly on my side. Okay, let me pause that one and let's continue. In the living room, Margot's mother was in front of the television.
Mom?
Mom? Do you have a music box? Why? I read an article about them recently. Oh. Do we have a music box? Check Danny's pawn shop. Who's Danny? There were only a couple of pawn shops around, so Margo figured she could find out which one was. She went to the door, ready to head out. Why not have your little friend in the convertible teach you how to drive? Margo laughed. Convertible. So, she knew about back. Oh no. After work, it was time to start her pawn shop mission. She stopped by the one closest to home. Margo went inside. The pawn shop had a typical dusty, mothball smell of a second-hand store. Around her were cluttered shelves of old cameras and novelty knives under glass displays. She kept thinking about how cagey her mother was with details. Danny. Danny owns a pawn shop. Margo couldn't help but sigh deeply at the thought. He must be this secret boyfriend that she's been visiting. Margo didn't want to interact with him, but knew she had to. Okay, thank you, Heptat, thank you, and thank you for visiting us here. The VOD will be up in YouTube later, so you can feel free to check it out later. Yeah, the delay is there. I see. That's why I am testing to make sure everything is not broken. Seems like the FPS is a bit slow, but yeah, I need to fix that. Okay, let's continue. As she was lost in thought, the shop owner came out from the back room. He had a little "Hello, my name is" badge on his chest with Danny written in. Let me know if you need help finding anything.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Margo couldn't help but analyze him on the spot. He's not ugly, and he's a business owner. Maybe it's okay? Danny stared back. You look familiar. Have you sold anything here before? There was pause as Margo mulled over what to say. Oh wait, are you Inez's daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah. He nodded a bit. She was right. You look nothing like her. Just like the photo though. Margo wanted to get out there as soon as possible. Do you have any music boxes? Oh sure, anything specific? One that plays for a long time. He nodded and walked down an aisle. After some shuffling, he pulled out a box. Go ahead and see if you like this one. A lady brought it in last week. Evening. The trailer was dark and empty. Margo supposed her mother was out. Maybe with Daddy. She went to her room, music box in her bag. She briefly glanced at her reflection in the mirror. Danny was right. She didn't look like her mother. She resented how much she looked like her father. Margo shook her head, trying to focus. She set up a spot on the floor with the music box and Bible in front of her. She eyed the music box. It had a small dancer holding a black sword with an unusual handle. It looked like it might actually be a sharpened piece of metal. The whole box had a handmade quality to it. The cat came up behind her and circled around to sit by the music box. She stared intently. You have to bite me, right? What if I'm sick? What if you're sick? Margo briefly considered the consequences. Tetanus? An infection? Before Margo could think about it anymore, the cat latched onto her hand, drawing blood. Margo stifled a yelp. Holding her bleeding hand, she placed the wound on the dancer's saber. Margo bit her lip, trying to ignore the pain. With the blood in place, she wound up the box. Maybe if she put on hand sanitizer now, it will be okay. She dug into her bag, trying to find a small bottle. A little song started to play.
Is
Margo's attention snapped from her bag to the cat.
it working?
Is it working? Yes, I can understand you. It was the same voice. This was the girl.
I need you to do one more thing. The steps should be in the book. I need hair from your mother and father, then burn it.
The burn mouth. Okay. The music box stopped and she started meowing again. Do we want to trust what cat wants us to do? I'm biasing because I would say yes, but yeah. I don't know. She could feel her mouth going dry. How? She looked down at the music box to check if the blood was there. It was.
Were you in my dream?
The cat nudged around the book, flipping pages. She loudly meowed again. Margo looked at the page.
Wrap hair from parents around the box. Set it on fire.
Collect the hair, add more blood, set it on fire. She looked at her hands. She looked at the blood drying on her palm. She wondered if she was okay. Okay. That is something. It was happening again. The girl was in her room again.
Now you know what to do. One more step to free me.
Okay, so do we want to free this person? Or this cat? I don't know. And free from what? We don't know either.
I'll try to do it tomorrow, but I still don't really understand. You never told me why I need to help you.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? June 16th, Tuesday afternoon. During lunch, Margo had a text from Lee. Sorry I left the movie early. I got call from my new job, so I had to go. Jade had told her that Lee said he had an argument with someone. Was it over the phone? Why are you apologizing now? It's been days. Better late than never, lol. He's working at the restaurant if you want to stop by. Margo put away her phone. Tonight she had to help that girl. Yeah, he's not worth it. The burp sound. Yes, the burp sound is excellent. Afterward, the trailer was empty. Her mother wasn't home. Margo thought it would be safe to get dishes for herself. She went to her mother's room. In the dresser, she found the bottom drawer stacked with everything from the kitchen. She grabbed what she needed and left. After cooking, she sat on the couch. She wasn't alone. The cat was there watching her. You want me to get the hair? Ah. The cat started walking across Margo's lap, making it hard to hold her bowl. Okay, let me finish eating first. As she ate, Margo considered the next steps. She hadn't really stopped to seriously consider what was about to happen. In the past, Margo had always said yes to anyone and anything. At this point, it was reflexive. She made friends by helping people with their homework when they asked. She got into her private school by accepting an invitation to a gifted summer camp. It had always worked out for her. But she had to wonder, what was she saying yes to this time? Why did she feel a pang of guilt from even considering saying no to the girl in her dreams? Margo finished up her food and washed the dishes. She checked her phone in the driveway before heading back to her mother's room. After putting the dishes back in the dresser, she started looking for him. On the dresser was one of her father's old combs and an old brush. Margo felt herself holding her breath, afraid of making a single sound or a wrong move. She pocketed the hair and left the room, careful to make sure everything was the same. In her room, she packed her bag, music box, book, hair, hand sanitizer, flashlight, matches. She needed matches. Margo hurried to the kitchen and grabbed a box of matches from the cupboard. Once she returned to her room, she looked at the cat. Are you ready? Evening. The cat followed along beside her. Margo figured the best place to do this would be out in the desert. They returned to the car, where Margo first found the book. Margo crouched down in the sand and laid out the necessary items. She coiled the hair around the dancer. Its little sword still had her dried blood on it. She breathed in and pushed the raw spot on her hand down on its edge. Again, she bit her lip in pain. With new blood in it, she turned the key to let it play. Setting of a fire? Yes, the final step. She struck one of the matches. For a moment she paused, watching the flame slowly travel down the stick. What was about to happen? Was this right? She didn't understand the situation, but she dropped the match onto the music box. It quickly caught fire. With everything set in motion, Margo looked at the cat in front of her. The cat's pupils were wide. The flame reflected in her eyes. The flame grew bigger. Margo couldn't look away. She couldn't look away from the cat's eyes. Around them, the world seemed to disappear. The fire petered out. The stars, the distant lights dotting the mountains. Everything was gone. They were the only things left. The cat flinched and yowled. Her eyes grew bigger, seemingly bursting from her skull. Her shoulder blades and joints stretched, the surrounding fur tearing away to hang slack from her body. Raw bone and muscle jutted out. The yowls gave way to the human screams. Margo desperately wanted to look away. She had to look away, but she didn't. The smell was sickening, like burning and rot. Fresh skin bloomed across the exposed muscles. The girl stayed hunched over, holding her stomach. She started to cough, and gurgled. She vomited. Chunks of bone and coagulated blood landed on a void between them.
This isn't right.
She wheezed out her words between spatters. Her gaze moved from the ground to Margo's face. Tears and blood ran down her face. Her hair stuck to the sweat on her forehead and neck.
Something went wrong.
Margo still couldn't move, react.
Did I do something wrong?
The words seemed to take all of her strength. The girl stared at Margo, clenching her teeth. She tried to stand up, but fell back down. What did you do? I don't know. The girl crawled to the book and scrambled through the pages. As she moved, Margo noticed a large tattoo on her back. It was the same thing as the symbol in the book. The girl's eyes darted across each page. This can't be right. There has to be another reason. She shut the book and wobbled again to her feet. Her knees shook as she stumbled to Margo. Margo wanted to move away as the girl placed her hands on Margo's shoulders. Margo could still smell the blood on her. The girl closely inspected Margo's face. She turned away and started slowly walking. We're heading back. Margo came back to her senses. Wait, but you're... The girl shook her head. No one else can see me. Thanks to you, I hardly exist. Night. The lights were still off. The girl locked herself in the bathroom. Margo went to her bedroom. She felt too shell-shocked to do anything besides sit on her bed and wait. The door cracked open. Margo quickly wiped her face. The girl walked in, then grabbed the book from Margo's bag. Margo quietly watched as she started flipping through it again. The girl looked from her book to Margo and back to her book. Finally, she looked up, visibly exasperated.
This is ridiculous.
I can only find one reason for this happening. I can guess, but let the game talk to you, to people here. I can guess. I guess I will start by asking, do you have a soul? What? Not that question. I guess I'm not dead or anything. The girl sighed to herself. Maybe your memory was erased. You could be reanimated. What? Maybe we are dead? I don't know. But let me save. This is interesting. Okay. What's your name? Maybe let's start with your name first. What's your name? She looked at Margo considering her answer. Clara. What happens now? That's why I'm looking at my notes. I'm trying to figure that out. What's going on? What's going on? What do you mean? You were a cat and now you're human. And you're asking about my soul now? It's unimportant. No, it's important. Everything that everyone is talking here, we were told that we are not important to know that. We need to know. In any case, I don't have a body now. I'm stuck. There was an abrupt yell. Margo's bedroom flew open, slamming against the wall. You went through my things. She held a bowl in her hand. Tried to explain. I needed to eat. All day I am on my feet, and then I have to come home to do dishes. I wash it. I have to redo them, and now you're going through my things. Do I need to put a padlock on my door? I need to eat. You hid all the dishes in your room. You're a little bitch. That's the problem. You are rude. You are very rude. I need you to get up and wash this. It's already clean. She approached Margot's bed and grabbed her hair. Push her away. Margot shoved her away. Her mother crumped to the ground. She started screaming. Don't you lay a finger on me. You're 18 now. Next time, I will call the police. Then you're out of here. She got up, clutching the ball. You can't kiss college goodbye. She slammed the door shut. In a daze, Margot collapsed onto her bed. Her scalp throbbed. Her ears were ringing. Through the thin wall, she could hear the sink in the kitchen running, the sound of her mother cursing over and over under her breath about what would happen next time. All Margot could do was wait for it to end. Clara was gone again, just like when she was a cat. June 17th, Wednesday morning. Okay, let me quick save. I think we only have a few days left for this. Let's see. There was no sign of the cat, or was it Clara now? She wasn't hungry. She rushed past her mother in the living room and headed to work. She didn't want to give herself a moment alone with her mother, or time to think about the night before. Work. She had to keep her mind off things. She had to compartmentalize. Thinking about the blood, the screaming, she couldn't let herself lose focus. Forcing herself to forget about her troubles is what got her into private school after all. She sifted through paperwork. Okay, so basically we will have the ad again soon. Wait a bit. I think it should be starting soon for the ad. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I think the ad is already done, so let's continue a bit more. I believe we are close to the end of the first early access, so let's see how it is. She shifted through paperwork. Her free hand combed through her hair, finding more loose clumps. She didn't realize how hard her mother had pulled at her hair. A sizable amount piled up on the floor next to her. Would it leave her with a bald spot? With yet another permanent visible scar? Another thing she needed to distract herself from. But yeah, that is what I am thinking. Her mother is not her birth mother. And I think with the message on the start, seems like she's born from another mother and the same father, because there is an email like that before. That's just my theory. That's why the resurrection is not working. The resurrection of Clara, or the transfiguration, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, that's just my prediction. So let's continue. Another thing she needed to distract herself from. She closed the file on the desk. Maybe she could try talking to a resident? Margo and Erika sat with one of the residents in the lodge. Gina, this is Margo. She's helping me out for the summer. Oh, nice to meet you. I don't know if you're heard about this, Margo, but Gina is receiving a congressional gold medal next month.
Huh?
Oh, what's that? It's the highest civilian award. She was in the WASP program, WASP program. Gina waved her hand. Margo politely smiled, not wanting to ask 2 questions in a row. Erika, you brag about me to everyone here. It's impressive. It makes you a celebrity. Gina chuckled. I just did what I had to do. Margo shyly listened as the two bantered. Afterward, come by. Where? The restaurant. You never told me the name. Why didn't you say something? Lee, please. She was conflicted. If she didn't call, maybe she could talk to Clara again. She could find out what's going on. However, she didn't want to be around her mother. Maybe if she spent enough time out, her mother would already be gone or asleep when she came back home. Margo walked to the restaurant. It was a small hole in the wall near work. She looked around and found Lee sitting at the booth. He nodded at her. She breathed in. Hopefully he would be in a better mood today than he was at the movie. She sat down across from him. I was starting to think I got stood up. Yeah, sorry again for leaving early. Yes, you're leaving early and you did that. It's fine. Lee grumbled to himself. There's some crazy chicks out there. I thought you left because of the work call. Lee shrugged. I'll make it up to you. I'll get dinner, okay? I'll get a discount. Okay. They ordered their food. How's your job going? Fine, I talked with a resident today. So you get to hang out with people all day? Sounds easy. I don't think that's fair. This is your first job, right? You don't know how hard it can be. Like, I think I will have to quit this job pretty soon. Why, didn't you just start? Yeah, but I don't think I am getting paid enough. And they want me to take drug tests. I don't want to deal with all that. Their food arrived. They sat in silence. Lee briefly looked up at Margo. Why do you keep messing with your hair? Her hands were still running through her hair, pulling out more loose strands. She folded her hands in her lap. I'm just tired. Margo wanted to change the subject. Looking at Lee, she noticed he was wearing a necklace with a pentacle on it. Is your necklace new? Yeah, I got it at a head shop that opened like a month ago. They have a bunch of crystals and stuff. Huh. Like new age stuff? Wait, what was it that happened with Clara? Was it magic? Are you into that now? Maybe you should start going to the church with me again. I'm just wondering. Speaking of, I found a weird Bible. How is it weird? It has a bunch of handwritten notes in it. Well, if it's Bible, it can't be anything that weird. Margo picked at her foot, pulling it apart. I guess not. Are you still living at home? For now, yeah. I got an apartment. Margo smiled. You've been trying to get one for a while, right? Yeah, I finally saved up enough for a bed deposit. Margo's wandered from home to Clara. Maybe that store would have something that could help Clara. Clara needed Margo to get a music box in the first place. Maybe there were things she would need for a spell or something that would fix whatever happened. How was it real? Was any of it real? You could come over after this. Check out my new place. Margo grimaced. Maybe another time. Evening. Margo came home and went straight into her room. She wasn't happy about how dinner went. Liz wallet went missing after she said she didn't want to see his apartment. But she did learn something useful.
Margo.
Hello, Clara. Margo jumped in surprise.
Hey.
You're back! I cannot go very far. Well, I had an idea. Oh? Apparently there's a store here that sells crystal and things. Maybe I could see if there's something useful for you? Like when I got the music box for you? Clara furrowed her eyebrows. I want to help.
Oh?
Why? It seems like something bad happened to you. You asked me in that dream to help you, right? So that's what I want to do. So then I owe you. No, nothing like that. Clara paced around the room for a moment thinking over what to do. Is it a fairy? Because she asked about, so I owe you. That's interesting. Either fairy or demon. The first thing I need to do is see if you even have a soul. Get a clear quartz disc from that store of yours. And I did an instant camera. Okay. Clara stopped in the front of the door. That's enough for you to start with. Let me know when you have the materials. With that, she was gone. June 18th, Thursday morning. Margo needed to focus on work, but her mind kept drifting. She knew she needed to get the cards for Clara, but why? How would she have or not have a soul? How did that work? All Margo could think of was fairy tales about people selling their soul to the devil. She sighed to herself. After what she had been seen this week, maybe those stories didn't seem so outlandish. There was a knock at the door.
Heya!
Hey, Beck. How work?
Hi.
Hi, good right now. Do you need help? Not really. My mom is here for a visit. I thought I would stop by and see if you're free today. I want to check out downtown. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Big smile. Great. I'll see you later then. With that, she left. Later, Margo met with Gina in the lounge. Margo, so nice to see you again. Though you were rather quiet last time.
Sorry.
Sorry, I had some questions but I didn't want to interrupt. What's on your mind? Margo twisted her hair between her fingers. I don't know a lot about the military. What's a WASP? Erika said that was a big accomplishment? Ah, it stands for Women Air Force Service Pilots. We were a group that helped the Air Force during World War II. Oh wow, what sort of things did you do? Mainly transportation and target practice. Target practice? Yeah, I taught the target for anti-aircraft gun practice.
Seriously?
Oh? After talking for a while, Margo checked the time. She had to get ready to head out. Feel free to talk anytime. And so you know, I used to be a teacher. Don't be shy about asking questions next time. Margo smiled. I'll do my best. After work, Margo and Beck met up and walked around the square. There weren't many shops and neither of them recognized any of the stores. I didn't expect so many new places to open. I think it's probably a cycle of stores closing and getting replaced. Yeah, it's sad, you know. Everyone I've talked to has said they're looking forward to moving. Even the new mall look empty. What do you think will happen to this town? I don't know. The weather here is miserable anyway. I'm not surprised people want to leave. Aren't you the one who keeps inviting me to do stuff outside? I cannot help that I like the outdoors. Around the corner, Margo saw a shop with an unusually flashy display. Tapestries and crystals were displayed in the front window. Was this the place Lee mentioned? A store called Coco Pelli with Buddhist prayers flags in the window? I hate these kinds of places. Yeah, it feels like kind of like applying Pascal's wager to everything. It looked like any other generic New Age store. Margo wasn't surprised, considering Lee seemed to like the place, but she was disappointed. Maybe this store would be helpful after all. She felt too anxious to go in anyway. Evening. As shops started to close, it became noticeably quieter outside. They went to an RV park, chatting at one of the Ramadas.
Roll up your jeans.
Huh?
I want to check something. Beck rolled up her jeans. There was a large scar. Margo complied and rolled up her jeans. Her knees were covered in several small scars. I mentioned it when we were texting, that when we were kids I wanted to touch knees so we could be blood bonded. And because you thought I was a vampire. Yeah. Of course, the most important part. A blood bond. Margo wondered if what she did for Clara would also be considered a blood bond.
Aside from granting you immortality, do you think it did anything?
Well...
Maybe it brought us back together. Is that weird to think?
I think it
Yeah.
did. Maybe it did bring us back together. I haven't thought about it for years. But when my parents brought in mail, I used to ask them if I had letter for you. I thought maybe one day you'd pop it up. Margo sighed to herself. How did I forget all of that stuff? You get older, it's silly kid stuff, you move on. Big smile. I thought about you too. Yeah? I worried about you. What do you mean? Bex shook her head. It's nothing. While they were on the topic of blood bonds, Margo desperately wanted to talk to Beck about the Clara situation. She wanted someone, anyone to talk to, so she could wrap her head around what happened. Hey, I have been meaning to ask you. What's up? Why were you so freaked out by that card the other day? How do I explain? You know how sometimes dogs have human eyes? Sure? That's what that cat was like. Oh, so you can see. That's interesting. You can see. Okay. Okay. That's very interesting. The cat was like a dog with human eyes? Yes, exactly. Night. Margo came home. In her room, Clara sat neatly on the floor, legs folded under her, looking through her book. She turned to look at Margo. Have anything for me?
No.
Not yet. I did scope out the store. Margo sat down next to Clara. I don't know if it will be helpful. Would you want to go with me to check? I want to make sure I get the right thing. Clara shrugged. If you bring my book with you, I can. But she looked away. I don't feel comfortable being outside in this body. You said no one else can see you, right? Well, it doesn't change how I feel. I'm still getting used to being human again. How long were you a cat? Clara shook her head. Another time. Okay. Clara turned her attention back to her book. Clara furrowed her brow. Is this magic? The stuff with music box, your book?
Oh, no.
That is a far too condensed understanding of what's going on. So, what is it? 18 years. 18. Oh, that's how long you were a cat? Yes. Margo was taken aback. Since I was a baby or not even born yet. Yes. So, how old are you then? Clara seemed to be fully focused on her book again. June 19th, Friday morning. Margo sat with Gina before lunch. Sometimes I get visits from former students. It's lovely seeing them grow up, start families, accomplish some wonderful things. Speaking of that, do you have any plans for Father's Day? Is that today? It is. It hasn't come up, I guess. Ah, I see. Margo quietly sat for a moment, thinking of a way to change the subject. Oh, I just remembered. Could I ask for a favor? Of course, what is it? Lately, I've been thinking about things I still want to learn. There's a book that I would like to borrow from the library. Could you see if that's possible? Sure. Margo wrote down the name of the book to pass on to Erika later. After work, Margo stood outside of the shop. She had to get over her shyness. She had to do this. She was responsible for whatever happened to Clara after all. After taking a deep breath, she stepped inside. Margo glanced around the store. Store owner, let me know if you need help finding anything. The store owner looked exactly how Margo expected. A few bits and bobs of turquoise jewelry, a little sunburned, with a tattoo peeking out from her shirt. She glanced around. She didn't immediately see what Clara needed. Did she even know what quartz looked like? Do you have clear quartz in a disc shape? I'll check. I don't usually get such specific requests. It's for a craft project. The store owner nodded and went to the back to check. Margo shifted from foot to foot. She glanced around. There were some teas, some books, and a confusing assortment of international items. What sort of books were there? Lucky you. She placed the disc on the counter for Margo. Evening. In her room, Margo glanced down at Clara's book. She had stopped carrying it with her, so Clara could have time alone to study. It should be fine while both her and her mother are at work, right? Margo looked around. No sign of Clara. How was she supposed to get a hold of her? Margo sat her back down on her bed and pulled the cord
Clara?
out. Clara? There was a voice behind her.
Yes?
You have it. Margo turned around. You're here. Clara stepped beside her and picked up the quartz. She held it up, examining the light coming through it. This will do. Do you have a camera? Margo thought of a second. I think my dad had an old instant camera in the shed. Clara walked to the door. Margo felt a jolt of fear. She didn't know when her mother would be home. Are you sure no one else can see you? Yes. What about hearing you? No. They cannot hear you talking to me either. How? Clara walked out the door. Clara and Margo carefully looked through the boxes of old art supplies. Huh. She held up a book to Clara. Someone at work mentioned this to me today. Maybe I should read it? Clara briefly glanced over at Margo before continuing to look through the box in front of her. Bardo todo? What is it? Margo glanced down at the book in her hand. I don't know, my dad has a bunch of stuff like this. Back in Margo's room, Clara disassembled the camera. So your father was an artist? Sort of. She pieced it back together, the quartz serving as a lens. After assessing her work, she pointed the camera at Margo. Smile. Margo glanced up as Clara snapped a picture. The photograph paper popped out. Clara set the picture down on the nightstand to develop. What does the quartz do? Something like spirit photography. Clara picked up the picture and examined it. Margo looked over her shoulder. That is an interesting photo. It had finished developing, but it was strange. Maybe the paper was too old. It had Margo caught in a candid pose. Her face was covered with an unusual flower. It reminded her of the passion flower she saw in the park with Beck. Around her, it looked like the creases in the photo paper were bleeding. In a way, it reminded her of arms. Clara muttered to herself.
Oh, no.
That cannot be right. She laid the photograph back down and went to her book. Margo waited. Why didn't you tell me?
What?
What? This is a demon's imprint. You don't have a soul after all. That's why it didn't work. Clara turned to Margo. You thought I wouldn't find out? I didn't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe there's a way to get it back or construct new one. We need one so I can have a body. Clara looked off in the distance, her voice getting quieter and quieter. If I could find him, he would know what to do. Margo looked at Clara. Should I be worried? Clara snapped her attention back to Margo.
Yes?
Yes? I need to do more research. Take me to the library as soon as you can. Okay, I can do that. In the meanwhile, be very cautious with the book. Margo nodded. I need to make sure you don't die. Otherwise, we both face nothingness. June 20th, Saturday morning. Margo woke up feeling sweaty. The air conditioning must have stopped working. She got up and walked past the kitchen to the hallway. She checked the bathroom, but it was in use. Margo returned to her room. She needed a distraction. Last night, it was hard for her to fall asleep. She kept thinking about the photograph, the red line coursing through it, Clara's assertion that she was soulless. Thinking about it all, it was the same feeling in her chest when she got accepted to the college she wanted. She twisted the fabric at the hem of her shirt. Why was she like this? Why did she want these things to be real? The things Clara told her only made her look forward to what would happen next. She shook her head. She had to stop thinking like that. It wasn't right. This was dangerous. She had to be calculated with her risks. She had to plan ahead. Think about school. Think about work. She couldn't be gullible. She realized she hadn't heard from her private school friends for a while. That would be better to focus on. She pulled out her laptop and signed in. There was a group chat with everything coordinating 4th of July plans. Alejandra, I'm excited to meet up. Can everyone make it? I don't think I will be able to make it. Miss you guys. Oh, Margo, I miss you. Excited to hear about California soon. One of her friends messaged her individually. How have you been? I hope your family has been alright. Wondering since you have been quiet in the group chat. I've been okay, just busy with work, been slacking on checking my messages, lol. There was one more unread message. Wanted to ask again if you know Victor Silva. My mom passed away a few years ago, so I only want closure. I don't want to bother you. Let me know if I have the wrong person. Margo stared at her screen. What could she say? At some point, she had to try again to ask her mother. Margo checked the bathroom again. This time, it was free. She went in. Margo looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. Her head looked matted from the sweat. She hopped in the shower and scrubbed away, comparing it to dorm showers. Here, the same rusted pliers and large metal can were still in the bathroom. After all these years, the tap knobs were still broken, and the toilet still had to be manually flushed. Well, it beat wearing flip-flops in the shower and walking down the dorm hallway in the well towel. Through the running water, she had footsteps. They stopped outside the door. The door knob rattled. Margo didn't think to lock it. You need to finish your shower. I can't. There is still soap. Now, turn off the water. I can't. I'm not done. Mother yanked back the shower curtain, starting Margo. Margo leaned against the wall, scrambling to cover herself with her hands. What are you doing? The mother's expression did not change. I can't afford you running in the water there at night. Her mother reached for the handle. Margo reached for it as well, their arms colliding. The pliers slid off the edge and into the tub, jabbing into her foot. So, you're back to your old habits. This is your last warning. If you hit me ever again, I will call the police. Blood trickled from her foot, mixing into the water. Her mouth looked down, lip twisting with revulsion. Clean that up. I'm not touching that. Seriously? She couldn't stay here. Yes, she couldn't stay here. I could go for a walk. She couldn't stay here. I could text someone. Margo carefully placed a bandage on her foot. Clara mentioned wanting to go to the library right, and Beck always seemed happy to see Margo. Clara or Beck? This is hard. This is hard. This is hard. This is hard. Let's go with Beck. Margo breathed quickly. She'll just text back and it will be fine. Hey, are you free today? Yes, I was just thinking about texting you. What's up? I wanted to see if we could hang out. I don't have any plans in mind. Want to come over? We can spend the night too if you want. Sure. Want me to pick you up? Yes, please. Margo immediately went outside and walked to the shopping center parking lot. She didn't think about what to pack to stay over. Her bag only had Clara's book on it. She just wanted to be out as soon as possible. Bag arrived soon after. Thank you, Beck. Thank you, please. Margo hopped in.
Hey,
You get everything you need?
Yeah,
Yes, I should be good. It feels like a weird thing to lie about, but Margo didn't want to think about anything. Afternoon. After driving for a bit, they reached Beck's place. Margo wasn't sure what she expected, but it was very different from the first. It was one of the nicer neighborhoods across the train tracks, where every house seemed to be 2 floors with a pool in the backyard. Margo realized, considering Beck's car, she shouldn't be that surprised. Wow, your house looks really nice. Thanks, it's my mom's. Inside, Beck's house bordered on 2 golf. Beck's mother greeted them in the living room. She had her laptop with her on the couch. Hey girls! Wow, it's nice to see you again, Margo. It's been a long time. You were a little girl the last time I saw you. Margo came over to shake her hand. She vaguely remembered seeing Beck's mother once or twice as a
Hi.
child. Nice to see you too. Thank you for having me over. Of course. Let me know if you need anything. I'm just going to check some work emails. She got up, taking her laptop to another room. Margo turned to Beck. Should I put my bag in your room? Yeah, I will show you where it is. They went up the stairs. Beck opened the door to her room and ushered Margo in. After you. Much like the rest of the house, her room felt huge. She had a computer desk in the corner and what looked like a walk-in closet. It seems like surprisingly tidy and sound. Every surface seemed to have a throw blanket or thoughtful rug. Scented candles, huh? Yeah, is there a problem? Your room is just fluffier than expected. Beck shrugged. I like to be comfortable. Have you had lunch yet? No, I could make something. Like what? Whatever you want. How about pizza? Okay. They went back downstairs and Beck started mixing and chopping. Margo sat down at the bar, sitting at the kitchen. What are you doing? Making pizza. Margo looked at the pile of chopped up cheese and vegetables and the dough Beck was mixing. From scratch? Of course, it's easy. You don't have to do all that for me. Beck rolled her eyes. I know, I don't have to. I want to. Do you at least want help?
Nope.
Nope. Margo watched. Beck seemed so automatic, Margo didn't think she even looked at the recipe. Once the pizza was in the oven, Beck came over to sit next to Margo. Where did you learn to cook like that? I just like trying out new recipes. Yeah, that's true. Usually I think of something I like and see if I can make it. That's so cool. I wish I could cook. I could teach you? Yeah? If you could learn one thing to make, what would it be? Margo thought about it for a moment. She remembered for one of her vacations from school, her mother was in a particularly cheerful mood. Well, there was one time my mom made sopa. Soup? No, I don't remember the full name, but it's like a Portuguese fish stew. Sopa. Where did your mom find a recipe like that? Her family immigrated from there. She said her aunt used to make it for holidays. Oh, cool. My mom tried to make Korean food a few times but couldn't find all the ingredients. It came out different. Yeah, there is some stuff my mom only gets when we are visiting relatives in California. Hey, same. When the pizza was done, they went back up to Beck's room. They sat on the floor together. Margo took a bite. This is so good. You think so? This might be the best pizza I've ever had. They ate in silence for a moment.
Beck?
Hey, Beck? What's up? Why did you decide to stay with your mom? She put her plate down. I fought with my dad a lot. Then my stepmom got pregnant. And we started fighting about how expensive it was for me to stay with them. I mentioned wanting to go to college, and he was really upset about how much that would cost. For a while, I had a hunch that my dad had pretty much moved on and wanted to focus on his new life. I felt like I was in the way. We had one really big fight. So I came here. Are you happier with your mom? Are you happier staying with your mom? I think so. We used to not get along either. How come? I would party and get in trouble with her a lot. I thought living with my dad would be great. He didn't really get why I did. But maybe I do like having someone worry about me. I mean, my mom forced me to quit smoking when I started hormones. My dad would have never done that. But, well, after that fight with my dad, I don't know. I feel different about a lot of things. What do you feel different about?
What do you feel differently about?
What do you feel differently about?
I feel like
Beck looked down at her hands in her lap. She slowly opened and closed them into fists.
I feel like I'm not in control of my life anymore.
I feel like I'm not in control of my life anymore.
I don't trust my own thoughts or actions.
I don't trust my own thoughts or actions.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Sometimes it's like
Sometimes it's like
I zoned out and I'm on autopilot.
I zone out and I'm on autopilot.
Does that make any sense?
Yes, that's making sense. She unclenched her hands. She turned to Margo and waved her hand. Sorry. I didn't mean to suddenly get weird and happy. Not at all. I asked, right? Beck smirked. So you're the one ruining the mood. Margo rolled her eyes. She put her plate on top of Beck's. Hearing all of that, she honestly was worried about Beck. Margo wasn't sure how much she could ask her. If what she wanted was a hug or reassurance that things will be okay, she hoped that maybe with time, Beck would feel comfortable enough to open up more. I want to know how you are feeling.
Sorry.
I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. I guess I wanted to know how you were feeling. It's okay if you want to talk about that kind of stuff with me. Beck looked down and smiled. I appreciate that. There was a knock at the door. Can I come in? Yep. Beck Moms opened the door. Sweetie, I'm heading to bed early tonight. You can stay up, just keep it down if you need to go downstairs, okay? No problem. Do either of you need anything? No, thanks though. Okay, good night, Becky. Good night, Mom. Love you. Love you too. With that, she left. Margo turned to Beck.
Seriously?
Becky, huh?
What?
What? You're my mom now? It's just a very cute nickname for you. Want to head to bed, Becky? You're losing nickname privileges. Becky, why? No, I'm sorry, it's Rebecca from now on. Very well, Rebecca Flores. Beck cries. It's forced somehow. Margo laughed. Alright. Margo looked at the time on her phone. I didn't realize it was late. We can get ready for bed if you want. I forgot something. What? I forgot my toothbrush and pajamas and charger. So what's in your bag? Some books from work. Beck shrugged. You cannot use my stuff. Would your pajamas fit? Why wouldn't they? Margo thought Beck was trying to be nice, but she looked confused. You were different sizes. Beck still looked confused. Margo wasn't sure what to say. I'll grab something for you. She got up and went to her closet, grabbing some shorts from the shelf. Margo stood up and Beck handed the bundle to her. Try this. The bathroom is across the hallway. There should be some extra toothbrushes and stuff too. After washing up, Margo tried to on the clothes. That did not fit. They were too tight to wear to sleep. She sat on the side of the tub. She looked at the pattern in the tile. In the past, when she had forgotten something, she'd have to borrow clothing or swimsuit from her friend's parents. Sometimes they would still ask if it was too tight or if it was too uncomfortable. Of course, it was uncomfortable. Margo put back on her clothes and folded up the pile of pajamas. When she returned to the bedroom, Beck looked confused. You're going to sleep in your jeans? I guess so. Why? The pajamas don't fit. Thanks though. Beck placed the pile on her desk chair. I'll think of something else then. She meandered down from the moment. Oh, it sounds like my mom is still up. I can help her, okay? Margo sat down on Beck's bed and sighed. Okay. What's up? Margo shook her head. She should say positive. I forgot to ask. Where should I sleep? Either here or in the guest room, up to you. Well, back room.
Well,
Is it okay if I sleep here? Of course, I prefer that. Margo's face felt warm. After Beck borrowed pajamas from her mother for Margo, they lay down. Margo stared across the room. She had slept over at friends' houses before, in the same bed, even with friends who turned out to be cuddlers. Why did it feel different this time? Margo focused on every sound she made. Was she breathing too loud? Was she adjusting too much to get comfortable? She tried to relax. Margo listened to the sound of the blankets shifting. Beck rolled over. Margo felt Beck's hand on her waist.
Hey,
Hey. Her breath was warm on the back of Margo's neck. Her voice was quiet, close to inaudible.
thanks for listening to me earlier.
Of course. Margo slowly moved her hand. She reached out, touching her fingertips to Beck's. Another strange dream. Margo wondered why she suddenly had so many lucid dreams. She thought it had been because of Clara, but she didn't see her this time. Okay, examine living room. The other difference is that this time, Margo didn't feel like she was simply sitting up in her room. This was the living room. It didn't feel like the actual place. This one is larger, distorted. The lights were off, but the curtains on the door and windows were open. By moonlight, Margo could see the details of her room. There was the sound of crickets in the distance. Were her parents around?
hello? Mom? Dad?
Margo shook her head. Out of habit, she called for her father. Will that ever change? Let's check bedroom. Margo lightly pushed the door. She expected it to be open, but it wouldn't budge. She tried the doorknob. It endlessly twisted, round and round, as though it was broken. She couldn't figure out a way in. Parents' room. Was her mother here? Or a dream version of her? Margo went to her mother's room. She tried the knob. It wouldn't move at all. She tried pushing the door. Still nothing. Mom? There was no response. Bathroom. Margo went to the hallway. She turned the knob of bedroom door. Knob. Her tentative nudge seemed to be enough for the door to open. Unlike the living room, it was dark. The window was eerily bright, but did not illuminate the space. What do you want to do? Look in the bedroom or go to the hallway? Look in the bedroom. Mom? All of the other doors seemed to be closed. Was she really having a dream about being all alone in a locked-up home? Turn on the light. Margo slid her hand along the inside wall, searching for the light switch. She felt the familiar shape and flipped it. The light bulb buzzed, flashed a moment, and popped. There would be no light. Step inside. Margo looked closer and stepped inside. Something about shapes in the bathroom seemed strange. There was the sink, the tap, the toilet in their usual spots, but something was blocking the tap.
Are you in here?
Margo squinted her eyes. For some reason, Margo always felt uneasy about the bathroom. When she was little, she used to think it was because it was haunted. She noticed a strange smell. It started off musty, but the smell developed into something horrid. Margo held her hand to her nose. Bloody or maybe rotting meat. Margo felt cold. She stepped back. Mom? There was no response.
Dad?
Dad? There was no response.
Hello?
Hello? Margo kept backing up. There was pressure on her ankle. She looked down. Fingers. Raw, pulsing fingers wrapped around her ankle. She yanked her legs away. She needed to run. What was that? What was that in the bathroom? Its grip tightened. It pulled, slamming her to the ground. She reached out, clawing around for something to hold to. Her arms scraped against the plywood on the floor. She held onto the door frame, trying not to get dragged into the bathroom, into the tub. She squeezed her eyes shut. She didn't want to see it.
Please.
Please.
Mom.
Mom, Dad.
Help.
Help! Something grabbed her hands. She couldn't maintain her grip on the door frame. She didn't want to look to see the thing wrapping around her hands. Her arms were yanked forward, hard. She felt the pressure on her ankle release. Margo scrambled to her feet, opening her eyes. She ran to the living room. She could leave through the front door, but now something was by the door. There was a sound behind her, coughing and retching. Margo turned. It was... more people were here. There was a click at the door. Was it locked? June 21st, Sunday early morning. That was intense. It was still dark outside. Margo could barely see around the room. There was arguing. She held still, listening. Beck was standing next to the bed. Her arms were folded and eyebrow raised. Clara was in front of Beck, her arms stiff at her sides, hands balled into tight fists.
You shouldn't have been there.
Her voice was a low growl. You shouldn't be able to see me.
What are you? What do you want with Margo?
Clara,
How do you know my name?
you're that cat from Margot's neighborhood, aren't you? I knew I had a weird feeling that night.
That's interesting. Don't change the subject. So, have you been following Margo or something? Why would I tell you anything? Beck shook her head. Clara sighed. She looked over at Margo. I know you're awake. Beck glanced down at Margo. Margo sheepishly sat up. Margo, get your stuff. Let's go.
What?
What's going on? What was that thing? I thought we had plenty of time to figure things out, but... That was a ghost. A dangerous one. So it wasn't just a nightmare. It could have hurt her. We need to go to your house and figure out what to do. Why do you need her isolated? Since you can't turn into animals, are you a witch or something? Speculating about me isn't going to help Margo. But maybe you know more than you're letting on since you're able to talk to me. You really want to know why? It's because I have a blood bond with Margo. What? I thought it didn't mean anything, but... Obviously it does. What did Beck mean? What would touching bloody knees together matter so much? Clara turned from backpack to Margo.
What?
Margo, is that true? Any other blood bonds I should know about? Clara's tone was cutting.
No.
No. Margo thought these blood bonds were more symbolic than anything. Did her blood actually do something magical for Beck and Clara? How? Clara took a deep breath.
Okay.
You know what? It's fine. We need to focus on the present. Let's go. Come on, you can talk to her tomorrow, can't you? Seems a little weird that you cannot discuss things in front of me. Why? It's a personal matter. Well, I saw it too, but I think it's ultimately up to Margo. Bex smiled weakly at Margo. I trust whatever decision you make. Margo glanced between them. Her brain was still foggy from waking up, but she trusted Beck. That's why she wanted to stay at her house after all. However, Clara had a good point. How did their childish blood bond make it so Beck could be in her dream and see Clara? Surely, Clara actually know what to do about the ghost in her dream? Okay, I think for now, let's save and let's continue another time. This is a good place to stop because it's still 6 days. I believe this early access is until 27th. So I think we can stop in this time first and we can continue next time with our choice. Our choice will be what I decided that time. So I am saving and quick saving in this time and we will continue another day for the next 6 days for this game. That was a really big ride. It is slow burn but it has a lot of feels. The characters are very interesting too for me, honestly, and yeah, there is a lot of mysteries. We don't know what it is. Yeah, the trigger warning is real for this. But yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey on Devil's Liminal, and we will see you next time for this game. Yeah, we will do it outside of the Hungry Ghost Festival to complete at least the next part of this one until the end of early access. Thank you all for joining me and remember to get some rest. I may stream again later on this evening, we'll see. Let's see you, but it depends on what I can do. It will be some short games, some action, more action or atmospheric games. So yeah. Okay, thank you all for joining me and see you later. Let's see if there is something that I can do in here. Maybe something like this. Okay, so I think, yeah. Let's see if I have something that I can click. If there is someone that I can rate, but I don't know. Let's see. Okay, there is Hideo who is streaming Persona 5 Royal. So let's rate to them in here. Yeah, as always, have fun on the raid and say hi to him. Okay, let's rate Hideo for this one. Start raid.